At this very moment, as you are watching this video, you likely believe you possess a solid understanding of basic geography. However, what if I informed you that nearly everything you have learned about the world map is a falsehood? What if I revealed to you that Africa is actually 14 times larger than Greenland, not smaller as every map depicts? And what if I disclosed that the Statue of Liberty is not even located in New York? Today, we are dismantling the most significant geography myths that have been deceiving people for centuries. By the conclusion of this video, you will never view a world map in the same manner again. Therefore, prepare yourself, because we are about to astound you with geography facts that will make you question everything. Let us begin with the most shocking myth of all, the size of Africa. Every single world map you have ever seen makes Africa appear minuscule compared to other continents. On the famous Mercator projection, Greenland seems to be roughly the same size as Africa. However, here is the mind-blowing truth. Africa is actually 14.5 times larger than Greenland. Africa covers 30.37 million square kilometers, while Greenland is only about 2.2 million. You could literally fit the entire United States, China, India, Japan, and most of Europe inside Africa, all simultaneously. The entire continental United States could fit inside just the Sahara Desert alone. This massive distortion occurs because the 550-year-old Mercator projection stretches areas near the poles. It was designed for ship navigation, not for showing accurate country sizes. Yet somehow, this distorted view has shaped how billions of people perceive the world for centuries. Speaking of maps deceiving you, let us discuss Iceland and Greenland. Everyone knows that Iceland is covered in ice and Greenland is green, correct? Incorrect. This is one of geography's biggest pranks on humanity. Iceland is actually green and mild, thanks to the warm Gulf Stream that flows around it. Icelanders have a saying, if you do not like the weather, wait 15 minutes and you will get something different. Meanwhile, Greenland is the one that is actually covered in ice. About 80% of it is an ice sheet. The names were supposedly switched by Viking explorers who wanted to trick people. Eric the Red named it Greenland to attract settlers to what was actually a frozen wasteland. So for over 1,000 years, people have had these two countries completely backwards. Now let us destroy some capital city myths that even intelligent people get wrong. Quick question, what is the capital of Australia? If you said Sydney or Melbourne, you are incorrect. It is Canberra. Canberra is so unknown that it is the only capital city in the world where you can skydive over the country's parliament building. Here is another one. What is the capital of Switzerland? Most people say Geneva or Zurich, but Switzerland does not technically have a capital. It has a federal city called Bern that acts as the capital. And here is a crazy one. South Africa has THREE capital cities. Cape Town handles legislative matters, Pretoria does administrative work, and Bloemfontein takes care of judicial matters. It is as if they could not decide, so they just selected all three. Let us talk about rivers, because even these basic facts will shock you. Everyone knows the Nile is the world's longest river, correct? Actually, the Amazon River recently took that title as the longest river on Earth. And in the United States, everyone thinks the Mississippi is the longest river. But the Missouri River is actually 139 miles longer than the Mississippi. The Missouri stretches 2,341 miles compared to the Mississippi's 2,200 miles. So the most famous river in America is not even the longest one. Here is a geography myth that will make you question everything about deserts. When you hear desert, you think hot sand dunes and blazing sun, correct? But Antarctica is actually classified as a desert, a cold desert. A desert is defined by low rainfall and sparse vegetation, not temperature. Antarctica receives less precipitation than the Sahara Desert. So the coldest place on Earth is technically a desert, just like the hottest places. This means penguins are literally desert animals. Let us blow your mind about time zones. because even this basic concept is incorrect. People think Antarctica has no time zones because it is just empty ice. But Antarctica actually has 9 different time zones. Each research station keeps time according to the country that operates it. So you could literally walk a few miles and travel through multiple time zones. It is like a time traveler's playground at the bottom of the world. Here is a myth about continents that even geography teachers get wrong. Everyone says Russia and Turkey are the only countries that span 2 continents. But Georgia, Azerbaijan, and Armenia also cross the Eurasia boundary. The border runs along the Caucasus watershed, cutting through all these countries. So there are actually 5 countries that exist on 2 continents, not just 2. Now for a myth that will start arguments at dinner parties. The Statue of Liberty is in New York. Correct, wrong. It is actually in New Jersey waters. Even though it is federal property managed by the National Park Service, the water around Liberty Island belongs to New Jersey. This has caused legal battles between New York and New Jersey for decades. So technically, Lady Liberty is a New Jersey resident, not a New Yorker. Let us destroy the myth about Europe's highest mountain. Everyone thinks it is the famous Matterhorn in the Swiss Alps. The Matterhorn is definitely the most photographed mountain in Europe at 14,690 feet. But Mount Elbrus in Russia's Caucasus Mountains is actually Europe's highest peak at 18,510 feet. That is almost 4,000 feet taller than the Matterhorn. The Matterhorn just has better marketing. Here is a mind bender about the South Pole that will confuse you. There is not just one South Pole. There are actually 4 different South Poles. There is the geographic South Pole, where Earth's axis meets the surface. The magnetic South Pole, where Earth's magnetic field intersects the crust. The geomagnetic South Pole, based on Earth's magnetic field. And the pole of inaccessibility, which is the point farthest from any Antarctic coastline. Plus, the magnetic South Pole constantly moves around due to magnetic drift. So even the South Pole cannot stay in one place. Let us talk about a myth that affects how you see entire countries. People think England and the United Kingdom are the same thing. But England is just one country inside the United Kingdom. The UK includes England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. It is like saying California and the United States are the same thing. This confusion has probably caused more international misunderstandings than any other geography mistake. Here is a final myth that will change how you see Africa forever. People think Africa is just one big country with similar cultures everywhere. But Africa has 54 different countries, each with unique cultures, languages, and governments. There are over 2,000 different languages spoken across the continent. Africa has more linguistic diversity than any other continent on Earth. The population is 1.2 billion people with incredibly diverse backgrounds. Saying African culture is like saying Asian culture or European culture. It is way too broad. So here's what we have learned today. Almost everything you thought you knew about geography is incorrect. Maps have been deceiving you about the size of continents for 550 years. Countries are not where you think they are. Capitals are not what you expect. And even basic definitions like dessert do not mean what you think. The world is far more complex, surprising, and fascinating than any map could ever show you. These myths exist because we rely on outdated systems, simplified explanations, and assumptions that nobody bothers to question. But now you know the truth, and you can never unsee it. The next time someone confidently states a geography fact, you will know to dig deeper. Because in geography, just like everything else, the most obvious answer is usually wrong. What other facts about our world do you think might be completely backwards? Let me know in the comments which of these myths shocked you the most. And if you want to discover more mind-blowing truths that will change how you see the world, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Because trust me, we are just getting started with destroying everything you thought you knew. Thanks for watching, and remember, question everything, especially the things that seem too obvious to be wrong.